Good afternoon, hello. My name is Daniel. This is the TriathlonDan YouTube channel. You might recognise this guy. This is Jono. John, I've known you for a few years now through the bike riding world and bike racing world. Good to see you again.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, I know. But we're here today to talk about wheels. Now, this is a hot topic in the cycling world, I know. I've never had a wheel partner / wheel sponsor, and I'm very careful and selective as to who I work with on this channel. But Jono, you're a bike nerd, right? You geek out over spec and setup more than anybody else I know. And earlier this year, you started a project, didn't you, in which you set out to develop, build, piece together and test your own wheels, and you're now at a point where you've launched a brand. So that's where
Crazy, really.
Internet people like me come in and just want loads of free stuff. So thanks for that. But what we're going to tell you about in this video is that I'm partnering with Vetta to, well, ride some wheels at the Brutal Full Triathlon in a week's time, and I thought we'd get you on to talk about it. I don't want this to be like a sales pitch, but you've really geeked out on setting up these wheels for you first of all, and then developing them into a range, and we'd love to hear more about it.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, we've got a setup on Jono, that's your bike there.
Yeah.
And they're going to go on my bike. I didn't quite bring it with me today, sorry I forgot that. But they are going to go on my wheels. So talk to me about then process. So earlier this year, you set about developing some wheels. How does that even start?
To be honest with you, right, I just love wheels on bikes. I have done forever. So when I used to race for Leisure Lakes, I used to annoy Andy at Lakes with wheels. What can I build? What can you get me? What can you stock? And I remember he built me a set of Mavic Cosmic rims built to tune hubs with CX race spokes, and they were absolutely stunning. And yeah, it just started building from there. Just this love of wheels. I love bikes, but wheels is my big thing, and I don't really know why. I'm just into them. So when I was building up, I've got two Colnagos. So I've got a V3 and I've got a V4 RS, and I was building them up from bits and bobs, and I thought I need two sets of wheels. But I just didn't want to go down your normal route of buying a set of Zip 303S or some Shimano or Tegra, something like that. I thought I want to just have my own thing on there and get my own spec, find my own spec, and build a set of wheels that I want to race on, that I feel are fast and I want to be on. Because as much as I like the aero kind of movement at the minute, where everyone's talking about this is the most aero, this is faster than the wind tunnel, this is fastest here, there, wherever, I've always been someone who likes weight to be low, because the way I ride, I'm quite punchy. I come from an athletics background, so I'm a bit of a sprinter. I've got that minute power, but I like to get the most out of that minute power. So for me, and I'm sure there were people out there who say that's wrong, that's not the way. I like weight on a bike. I like the weight to be low.
And think about the riding that we do. We live in the Peak District, right? So everywhere you go, it's up and down, up and down. Weight of wheels does matter, doesn't it? And you can feel the difference and so on. Especially when you're going from like I've currently got on my bike, it's like an 1,850 gram set to something a lot lighter. You really feel that difference. So yeah, so you've not been in a wind tunnel testing yet. The budget hasn't quite stretched to that, but that's not really the purpose. Talk me through then. So you've now developed a range, but before you got to that point, you tested different hubs, different spokes, different rims. You went out to Eurobike. What did that process involve?
So first of all, I know the spokes I've always liked CX race spokes. I'm not a big fan of the new carbon spoke movement, because I just don't think it's ready yet for the mass market. I've spoken to factories and things, and they say they're still using a little bit of epoxy in the nipple heads. So for me, it's just not quite there yet. It's not quite ready because of the tensioning of the spokes. And I mean, I'm sure there's experts out there who will correct me and say, actually, no, we've done this now, and this is developing, and this is better. Some people say the Cadex spokes I've spoken to don't do that, but I don't really know enough about it to be confident in it yet. And I'm learning, and I'm doing a lot of reading on the carbon spoke thing and trying to work out if it's somewhere I want to go. But for me, the stiffness and the ride feel of CX rays, and also the pillar wing spokes, which they're the ones I've decided to go for, are just fantastic. And they're quite easy to service, easy to build, things like that. So that's why I've gone with those.
Not super expensive either. So.
Yeah, I mean, they're more expensive. Yeah, they're the most expensive. out of your sort of your steel spokes.
Yeah.
DT Swiss Aero lights as well are really good.
But compared to like a carbon spoke.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. So that's why I've gone with those, to be fair, because I've always just liked the ride feel of them myself. Yeah. And this all started as like, what do I want to ride? Yeah. What wheel do I want to ride next year for race season? That was it. That was the whole kind of start up of this, and then it's just grown from there, really.
Wicked. All right, well, show us your wheels then. Tell us about them, and tell us how good
So this one is my Licio Ultra. So anyone who knows me knows I love Italian cycling, Italian culture. Pantani is my idol. I know obviously some people won't agree with that, but whatever. So
that's where you start with the brand name is Vetta, which means hill.
Vetta, which means summit.
Oh, is it?
Italian,
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, everything then I've just kind of gone down like, I just like Italian cycling, I just like the thing. So this is the Licio, and that's smooth in Italian, because the first time I rode these wheels, that was my overriding feel. They're just so smooth, if I do say so myself. So yeah, this one's the Ultra, and I am using hubs that are extremely lightweight. They use a ratchet system in the hub, like DT Swiss ratchet system. These ones have got a 54 tooth ratchet, and they have quite a nice spring system, which has got 2 spacers, which holds the spring nice and strong. So the engagement is very fast. You know, I could go into real technical blurb about that, but we'll be here ages. So this one on this bike is my Ultra 40, so they're going to come in a 40, 50 and 60 mil depth. This one's the shallowest, therefore the lightest, weighs in at 1290 grams for the wheel system, which, you know, if you look around, other than the carbon spoke options on the market, these are probably up there with the lightest. And I would say, you know, some of the strongest as well. I've ridden a set of these across gravel. I took them around the full Cannock Chase a few weeks ago, no problems. So I'm really pleased with the strength of the wheel and the stiffness as well. We've included internal spokes on the road wheels because they're obviously proven to be faster, and I like the aesthetic. Yes, servicing is a little trickier, but actually for the gains you get, then, you know, that's why I went for the internal nipples, to be fair. The rim width is 23 mil, and I think that's critical nowadays because wider tyres are better, we know that. So I went for a wide inner internal width and a 30 mil external width. So it's optimised really for a 28 to 30 mil tyre, 32 mil tyre. And they just, roll super smooth. Included in the wheel as well, I have sourced some high volume tubeless valves.
You have not stopped raving on about these.
And as if by magic, I've got one here.
Yeah.
So these deliver 300% more air into the tyre, and we're selling these as well on the site. So essentially you could do this tubeless setup with a track pump and you wouldn't even need a canister, as long as you're a
lot less likely to block the
absolutely. So there's no Presta valve in there, like
so it'll screw straight on.
So you unscrew this and it is just literally, you won't be able to see on the camera, but it just goes straight through. So blockage, there's not so much area for blockage in there either.
That's cool.
The only difference with these is you insert them upwards rather than down. So you go into the rim and put them in. Yeah. You pop on this little rubber bung, and then you screw them down with a tool that's supplied with the valve, and they screw down into the rim.
Okay.
And these are for 37 mil to 65 mil rims, so it will cover the whole range of our wheels.
So you've got the Ultras on here. What's the other level?
The other one we're doing is a Pro. That will come with slightly lesser hubs, so they're slightly heavier hubs. But in fact, I would suggest they're actually a more durable hub because they are that little bit heavier. There is a little bit more material to them. Then we are keeping the internal nipples on the Pro to stick with the to stick with that aerodynamic gain. The rim profile is the same. The carbon layup is slightly lesser. So on the Ultra, the carbon layup is better. So obviously that's why you're paying that extra little bit, and slightly lighter as well. Slightly stiffer, slightly lighter.
Of course, is that the price point difference as well, isn't there?
Yeah, and obviously the spokes won't be the Wing 20s that we're using on the Ultra. They are going to be the pillar bladed option, which still light, still strong, still fast, still aero, but just not quite that wing level.
Okay, awesome. Anyway, enough about your wheels, Jono. Let's talk about mine. Now, I am, if you haven't noticed already, a big, strong guy. So therefore, when I look for wheels and when I ride bikes and stuff, sometimes things break because I'm 100 kilos and putting a lot of force through things. So this is your gravel wheel range, right?
Yeah, all-road gravel.
Yeah, I'm going to use on the road bike. Very similar to the road range, aren't they? So just highlight any sort of key differences there are.
So first one you'll notice is on this wheel we've built with external nipples. Yeah. But for these going forward, we'll offer both, internal, external, depending on what the buyer prefers. So these aren't on the website yet. We don't have a stock, but we can do pre-order.
Exclusive.
We can get the wheels in. So these ones are called the Passari. They come in a 34, 44 and a 54 mil depth.
Is Passari Italian for Gravel Pro?
It means, what bomb? No, it means switch. So you can switch from all-road, your green lanes out in the countryside, your gravel tracks, and then they're just as fast on the road. So one of my friends has been using a set of these and racing them in road races and does like them a lot. Yeah. So they've got a 24 mil internal width.
So slightly wider than
Slightly wider, and a 31 mil external width. So you can go up to like a 50C tyre on these really quite happily.
I've actually put a 32 mil road tyre on there. And a lot of people do say you have 105% width of the tyre versus the rim or something, and I don't know. But the tyres are ever so slightly wider than the rim, aren't they? Yeah. I'd be interested to see what they measure out at actually.
Yeah.
They do look quite wide.
I mean, I've not actually done that. I didn't get time to have a look at that this morning, but they're a 31 mil external width, so with a 32 mil tyre. And so these are the hubs that will come on the Pro model.
Yep.
So we put those on for you because they're just that little bit. There's a little bit more to them. So the rider weight limit is the same because of the rim, but I would just suggest the hubs are a little bit
durability
more,
wise.
they're a little bit more robust.
Yeah, and I do like having get a lighter set of wheels, but then when you start really splitting hairs with, we can make this one part 20 grams lighter, you might break it, but it's lighter. I'm not a fan of that. I would rather get the wheel system, good, but if there's an option where the hub's going to be slightly heavier but more durable, yes, I'd go for the more durable option, because to me, 20 grams isn't going to make neither here nor there, but saving 500 grams on a wheel set does, so get those big gains and not worry about the 1%.
Yeah, so these ones come in at 1350 for the wheel system. We used alloy nipples on these, which obviously aren't as durable as brass, but for you're doing a competition on it, you want to get the most gains out of it. Alloy will be okay, but obviously we can give a brass option, if people really want to go heavy gravel and doing a lot of bike packing and things. So it's very simple to do a brass.
So it's early days at the minute then, so you've got a small amount of stock, but if people are interested, you've got a website now live.
Yep.
The best way to do is just reach out to you and talk about what it is they're doing, what event or what type of bike or something, and you can advise from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got email wheels@vettacycling.cc. That's on the website as well, so it's vettacycling.cc.
Description.
Go take a look, reach out to me. I'm happy to do custom builds and things, but there is a lead time, and we have a small amount of stock coming into the UK in the next few weeks of the road wheels. The all road and gravel wheels will be coming a little later.
Yeah. What's the process with? Are these built overseas? They're built in the UK. What happens with that?
So some of these ones have all been hand built. So we have a wheel builder who's involved in the project, and he has hand built all of these wheels. The ones that are coming into the country are built by a reputable factory in the Far East, obviously, but I've spent so much time scoping out factories, and I've got a little bit of background in the Far East because my dad used to work for Rolls-Royce. He had an office in China. He was out there for a long time, so I've sort of lent on my dad to understand there and navigate their kind of world, the Far Eastern manufacturing world, and it can be quite daunting at times. So I've sort of done that due diligence on that and made sure that the factories are good and they're reputable and they're doing good things. So they will put them together, and then when they get to the UK, our wheel builder is going to just QC the wheels, make sure they're all good, and yeah.
And warranty and returns, what sort of warranty do you get?
So we've got a full 3-year warranty on the hubs and rims, and then spokes, nipples, you kind of consumable stuff, warranty, bearings and things, 6 months on those. And that's all on the website as well. So we're doing a crash replacement scheme as well, where obviously if you're unfortunate, we know it happens, I know it happens, we can try and replace things, because a lot of the time if you crash, you're not going to trash an entire wheel. And in the scheme of the green agenda and things, we'd like to try and repair that wheel for you. If you snap a few spokes, obviously we need to check the integrity of the carbon and things like that, which we can do. And yeah, we're happy to do that. So all the details of that crash replacement is on the website as well.
Okay. All right, so it's early days, isn't it, Jono? But it's good to see you launch it. I'm happy to buzz in to be able to ride a set at the Brew Tour next weekend. I do have a discount code, which I'll leave in the description down below. Just negotiate with Jono whether it's like 90% or 95%.
Well, we're actually doing, till the end of October, I'm going to do 25% off everything on the site with Startup 25. As the code. That's on the website as well. So then your code after that will obviously, people can use that beyond the end of October.
Wicked. So it gets a few sets out there, gets some more into the wild, gets them out and about, doesn't it? So
yeah, I just want people to start riding them because I like them. Obviously, as I've said, from the project, it's just literally, it started because I wanted 2 sets of wheels. But I wanted my own 2 sets of wheels. So that's how it all started. And now I like them so much, I just want people to
Well, thank you very much.
Have a go.
Appreciate it. All right. Hopefully do them justice next week. See you later.